So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the assembly of all of the electronics that come with your 2016 HABEX kit. What we've got here is a large external battery that we're going to use to power everything. Got your GoPro camera. There is an SD card that comes in the kit for the GoPro camera. Make sure you use that. There is the computer system that has the GPS tracker on it. There is a little cable and then two external sensors. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to put together this flight computer and the sensors. So the cable has three ends and they're all different sizes, so there's no way you can get it wrong. And then each end has a little key that you just or a little bump there that you just plug in, and then it all attaches together. There is an SD card, or there should be an SD card already in your flight computer. Be a little bit careful with this. You just push it to take it out when you're getting rid of or looking at your data. But this SD card holder is a little bit sensitive, so be a little bit gentle when you're putting things in. So then on the other end, you've got two ends, and these ends go to these two sensors. This is a sensor that has barometric pressure, temperature, humidity, and then motion. And that plugs into the smaller one like that. Just clicks right in. And then the green sensor has your beacon on it, sound and light, as well as your gas sensors, and temperature sensor is on here as well. So that just clicks in like that. Okay, so that's that kit assembled. And then you can make sure that it works by plugging it into the battery. So you get a regular USB cable, which should be included in your kit. That goes into the end of your flight computer, and then that goes into your big battery. And then you can push the button on the side of the big battery to turn it on, and you should get lights and sounds indicating everything's working. So that means everything's working. That flash of green, yellow, red, and the three little chirps means that the computer has booted up properly. And then you get these other series of beeps. Now there's a bunch of different beeps which I'll list in a document. But for now, I'll just let you know that if you're getting yellow and white on the strip of color, and those two little chirps, that means that the sensors are working properly. The GPS is working properly, but it doesn't know where it is yet. And that's because we're indoors. It'll flash white and green if it's finding where it is outdoors. And that shouldn't take too long to find, maybe 5 minutes. It's not like a cell phone where it'll find it immediately, but it shouldn't take a long time to find. Now, I'll give you a few examples of some of the possible bad sounds. That means things aren't working. And what I'll do is I'll just unplug the board here, and then let's accidentally take out the SD card. And again, you got to be a little bit careful with it. If you plug in the power when the SD card's not connected, that's the sound you get. Two red flashes. Two red flashes tells you that the SD card's not working properly. So then you unplug, you put the SD card back in, and everything will work properly. Now the other sound you might get is if this card is not attached properly, it'll look and sound like this. 4 blue flashes means that the blue chip, the blue sensor chip, is not working properly. And if that happens, you can unplug, plug the sensor chip back in again, and then power everything back up, press the button again, and it should work fine. Yep, and that's a good sound, those two chirps. Like that. When the GPS finds signal, the chirps will be a little bit higher in pitch. But what's happening there is the white chirp means that this sensor is working properly, and the yellow chirp means that the GPS is working but doesn't have a fix, as I said. Okay, so that's the electronics kit that should be working properly for you. The next thing you need to do is set up the GoPro camera. So what you can do is the GoPro will come in a packaging or whatever. What you're going to want to do is replace the back, okay, with the slotted back, okay? And you can do that just by pulling the back off sort of downwards. It just pops right out, this little slot. I'm going to take this mount off to make it a little bit easier to see. The mount this pin comes out, mount comes off, and then you can see there's a little slot right there, and the door goes in the back like that, and then closes. Now the reason you want the slotted door is because you're also going to power the GoPro with that big battery. GoPro comes with a cable, and you want to plug that cable into the power slot on the GoPro, and then that gets plugged into the battery as well. And then when the battery is powering the GoPro, a little red light will come on, and you can see as soon as we turn on the battery by pushing the button, the red light should come on the GoPro, and that says the GoPro is charging off of that big battery. Now, it doesn't need the big battery to last a long time. The problem is when it goes way up in the sky, it's really cold, and batteries don't do well in cold. So you want to have lots of extra battery power for the GoPro so that it can take video all the way up and all the way back down. So that's why we use the big battery for the GoPro. The big battery is going to plug into the GoPro and plug into the electronics kit. So the whole package together looks like this. The GoPro's running, the circuit sensor is running, and the one thing we've forgotten to do is take the SD card that comes in your kit and put it in the GoPro, because that way you'll be able to record video. And that just goes in the back of the GoPro as the instructions would say. Okay, you want to unplug, open your door, put the SD card in that little slot, make sure you've got it the right way up. Okay, and then the door actually closes on top of the SD card slot, holding it in place, and then you plug in the power and everything is running. And that's the entire kit. Now that's all got to go inside your box. The GoPro should be mounted outside, of course, to be able to take video. There's a few different ways to do that. You can either mount this on your box somewhere and then clip the GoPro into it, or cut a hole in your box and have this facing out. The electronics kit should be in your box, as should the battery, but these two should be outside of your box. They don't have to be close together or far apart, it doesn't really matter, but the gas sensors should be out of your box. The beacons, of course, should be outside of the box so we can see and hear the thing as it's going. And then because this is measuring temperature, pressure, and humidity, that should also be outside of the box. So 2 sensors outside of the box, somewhere on the side, and then the GoPro, of course, so you can see. And that's the entire kit. Thanks for watching.